Montana Congressman Ryan Zinke serves on the House Foreign Affairs Committee and is a retired Navy SEAL commander. Thanks so much for being with us. The president says that this is done. The Iranians don't necessarily say that at all. What do you think our situation is at this moment?
Well, the devil's in the details. I think the president has been absolutely firm. Iran's not going to have nukes, they're not going to have nuclear material, and they're not going to have an arsenal of destruction. As well as the Straits, that is freedom of navigation. And look, even Thomas Jefferson sent our fledgling fleet forward to combat the Barbary Coast pirates for freedom of navigation. I think the devil is in the details about, trust but verify. Well, what happens if you don't trust? I think the president is going into this exactly right. He doesn't trust the Iranians. They don't trust us. But there has to be some verification process, in fact, that they don't have nuclear material, as an example.
Congressman, does the president know who he is negotiating with at this point? Because that's been the million-dollar question for many people.
Well, you bring up a great point. Who is in charge? You see that their first and second echelon of military leadership are dead. Their first echelon of political leadership is dead. And now you have distributed command and control, primarily distributed among the military commanders, but they have a lot of autonomy. I think what we're seeing is that it's difficult to command a nation when you don't have a unified command up on top. So I think internally there's a lot of issues, and I think that's been part of the struggle for our negotiation team is who do you talk to and what is their extent of authority.
Yeah. So based on what you've said today and based on what we've heard from every other source, this is where it looks. It looks like we're right where we were about a week, maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago. Iran will not confirm that it's keeping the waterways unconditionally open and toll-free. They are flatly refusing to confirm they're handing over the enriched uranium. They will also not confirm that they are going to stop backing the proxy groups, which is such a significant component of this, because that way they lose regional leverage. So I personally don't see how this is any different than where we were before.
Well, I think we're a lot closer. Quite frankly, you look at what our objectives, and we kind of pointed them out, that no nukes, no nuclear material, no arsenal of destruction, and the Straits of Hormuz open. Their objective is just regime survival.
Yes.
You look at what's happening in Iran. I mean, they don't have any water. Their currency is worthless. They don't have a command structure, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And you know what? The people aren't happy. So I think we're a lot closer along. I think the president is right. Now, the general premise of what the agreement has to be, I think the president is firm, but the devil's in the details. And I think we are a lot closer. We're not there yet, but we're a lot closer. And look, they are not the United States of America. They do not have the United States Navy sitting off their coast. They don't have the power, the capability, and the resolve that we do to finish this. If necessary, we will, by all available means, they will not have a nuclear weapon.
So, Congressman, President Trump says this war is done, but Iran's foreign ministry, a short time ago, I'm looking at this report, said reports of an agreement were, quote, speculative, and that, quote, nothing has been finalized. What is your response to that?
Well, I think they're exactly right. It was speculative of what the final document is going to look like on the details. And nothing is signed. They are correct. Nothing is signed. But there's a lot of work that has been done, and I think the president is correct. They are a lot closer. At least our position has been firm, and they know it. We're not going to bend on Iran having a nuclear weapon. Yeah. And if necessary, by all available means. And they are not in a position of strength. So actually, I'm an optimist. And look, you look at the nations around Iran. 90% of the attacks have been against civilian targets from Iran into UAE, into Qatar, into Israel. 90% has been to civilian targets. I tell you, their neighbors aren't very happy either. And lastly, I can tell you, a Middle East without an Iranian regime, without a radical regime being able to inflict harm, I think the Middle East will be an era of prosperity. Well, very, different people than they were 50 years ago. A lot of money, but I'll tell you, a lot of education and a lot of sophistication in the Middle East.
Information. Truth is freedom. is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.